Have you ever really stopped to think about the words you use every day? I mean, are they just sounds floating in the air, or is there something more to it? In an upcoming podcast series, Pastor Joe unpacks this incredible idea. Our words are like powerful seeds, and these seeds literally shape the world we live in. They can either build a paradise, or they can burn the whole thing down.
Now, this is not some new idea. This bit of ancient wisdom from the Book of Proverbs puts it so bluntly, doesn't it? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. That is the absolute heart of what we're looking at today. These two massive opposing forces that we unleash every single time we open our mouths to speak.
So let's start with the darker side of this power. Imagine for a second that our harmful words are seeds, and these seeds grow into what we're going to call the tree of death. Now, this isn't just a simple metaphor. It's a really powerful picture of the real, tangible damage our words can actually cause.
And have a look at how these words are described. Rash, thoughtless words aren't just seen as being a bit rude. They're like the piercing of a sword. They cause this deep, sharp pain. And what about those harsh, grievous words? Well, they're like throwing fuel on a fire, right? They deliberately stir up conflict and anger where maybe there wasn't any before. So, what kind of fruit does this tree produce? Well, it's a harvest of strife, pain, ridicule, and a complete breakdown of someone's spirit. Pastor Joe also points to this other powerful image. The tongue is like a tiny spark that can set a whole forest ablaze. Just think about that. A single, careless word can kick off a firestorm of destruction that's pretty much impossible to control. But, and this is the hopeful part, there is a brilliant flip side to all this. If we choose to plant different seeds, seeds of wisdom and kindness, they grow into a completely different tree. We'll call this one the tree of life. And just look at the contrast here. It's night and day. The very same verse that warns of a sword-like tongue also promises that the tongue of the wise brings healing. Instead of stirring up anger, a soft, thoughtful answer can completely diffuse it. It just turns away wrath. It's the same tool, the tongue, but with a totally opposite life-giving result. I absolutely love this analogy. Pleasant words aren't just fluffy or nice. They're compared to honeycomb. Think about that for a sec. Honeycomb is incredibly structured, it's surprisingly strong, it's naturally sweet, and it's even got known healing properties. That's what our words can be: strong, sweet, and genuinely restorative for a person's mind and even their body. So it's no surprise that the fruit from this tree is exactly what you'd hope for: healing, comfort, calm, genuine guidance. This is the incredible creative power our words have. We can literally speak life into our relationships, into our families, and into our circumstances. Okay, so we've got these two trees, one of death and one of life, both grown from the seeds of our words. But this brings up a really crucial question, doesn't it? Where do these words actually come from in the first place? It's so easy to think words are just a product of our mind, a quick reaction to whatever's happening around us. But what if the source is much, much deeper than that? And right here, this is the core insight from Pastor Joe's upcoming series. Our words are simply the overflow of what's already filling our hearts. See, the words aren't the problem. They're just the evidence of the problem. Whatever is in our hearts in abundance, well, that's what's going to come spilling out of our mouths. So if we want to change the fruit, we can't just go around taping new leaves onto the branches. We have to get to the root. We have to treat the soil. And this is where it all gets really practical. The solution isn't to just grit your teeth and try harder to say nice things. It's about intentionally tending the garden of our own hearts, right? Cultivating the right kind of inner soil to grow the right kind of fruit. So how do we do that? Well, here are 3 really actionable steps. First, we have to intentionally store up wisdom. We've got to fill our hearts with good things, with words of life. So that's what's in there in abundance. Second, we need to learn to restrain our speech. A wise person knows when to just stay quiet, to listen more, and talk less. And third, we consciously make the choice to speak pleasant words, to use our speech as a tool to build people up, not tear them down. And this slide, well, it brings us to the inescapable consequence of it all. The words we're speaking today, those are the seeds we're planting. It's that simple. And after a bit of time, those seeds are going to grow. And tomorrow, we're going to eat the fruit of those words. There's just no escaping it. We will literally live in the future that our words are creating for us right now. So,
This brings us to a question that I think every single one of us has to ask ourselves. Based on the words you're using today, at home, at work, even the words you say to yourself, what kind of harvest are you preparing for your future? What fruit will your words bear tomorrow? To dive deeper into all these insights from Pastor Joe, just visit pastorjoepodcast.com/about. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page there, you'll find direct links to the full podcast series on all the main apps. It's a really incredible study, and I can't recommend it enough. Thanks for your time.